Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I've got something new for you. It's a ground transmitter from Flysky. The Flysky R7P. As always, I'm Jeff with Titan FPV and RC. First order of business, guys, if you're not already subscribed, please do so. Click that notification button. You'll be notified when I upload all new content to the channel. All right, guys, let's dive in. Now, this is something new to the channel. Haven't really featured any ground vehicles before, but like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to start adding new content. And this is a good radio, I believe, for a beginner that's coming from the ready-to-run radios that you're going to find in most crawlers and other ground vehicles. So this one's from Flysky. Many of us are familiar with Flysky. They make good products. They've been around for quite some time in the RC hobby. This one's coming in around $80 US or so. You can find these cheaper and slightly more expensive, just depending on where you shop. This one is a 7-channel radio. It does have telemetry, so that means it's going to bring data back and forth from the receiver. The one receiver that comes with the transmitter. It's the Flysky FS R7P, so it matches the radio name. Now this one's using the ANT protocol. It is a 2.4 gigahertz receiver, 7-channel. This radio is also compatible with any of the receivers that use the ANT protocol. These receivers, you can pick them up anywhere from about $12 if you get them shipped from China on AliExpress, or up to $25 if you pick them up on Amazon or your local hobby shops. These are readily available. I didn't have an issue finding these, so that shouldn't be a problem locating a compatible receiver. All right, let's look at the remote. It's got this nice faux carbon grip, as well as on the top. It does have a nice LCD display. You have many switches. You got this 2-position switch. You have a potentiometer up here. You can use this for something like 4-wheel steering if you're going to add that to your crawler. This is a 5-way switch. So up, down, left, right, and then you can click it. You've got your steering wheel here. This one's not a foam wheel. There's another version of this radio that does have a foam wheel. Now, I've heard that this is going to be an optional upgrade. I haven't been able just to find the wheel with the foam, but you could easily 3D print something and pick up some foam if you want to swap that out. That'll probably be one of the first things I do. Got your trigger and brake. It's pretty smooth action. It does have a mount on the front that you can pick up, an optional phone mount to film your crawling. I don't know if you could use this one-handed, but you could probably print an adapter and use this wheel one-handed. On the side here, you've got another 3-position switch. Now this is a they're labeling this as a 3-position, but I believe this is also a potentiometer. There is a detent there in the middle. Yeah, this is a 3-position potentiometer. You've got a trim right there, and then just another momentary switch. This one, I have it powered by 4 AA batteries. I think they're, if you use nickel metal hydride, 1300 milliamp hour, I believe. They said that you can get about 10 hours. I don't know how long you can get on AA's. You can see right here, there's a, I think it's a JST connector there. So you can run a 2S LiPo. Flysky does make a compatible LiPo. It's 2S. That'll be another one of the upgrades that I'm going to get, but for now I'm just using these AA's. You can also power the radio via USB-C. There's a USB-C port here on the side. You can also play simulators with this port and upgrade the firmware. The firmware is user upgradable. I believe in the latest firmware update, they've enabled receivers with gyros. So if you run drift vehicles, that's going to be a welcome option to their compatible receiver list. Another 5-way toggle here, and you've got a lanyard slot here if you want to keep that from slipping out of your hands. Let's power it on with the on switch. Greeted with the nice Flysky logo. I don't have a receiver bound to this. We don't need to set fail-safe right now. This is your kind of your home screen here. If you're running a timer, it's got your dual rates here at the bottom. You can see your throttle channel as well as your steering channel. And then you can see your trim positions here. Battery, this is the transmitter battery voltage. I believe it will with telemetry. If you hook up the sensor on the ESC, you can get your vehicle's battery voltage, as well as a speed sensor, and I believe a temperature sensor it will also support. So like I said, this is a telemetry receiver. If you push the up button, this is going to give you your channel monitor. I just have, by default, I just have steering and throttle set up. So channel 1 and channel 2. You go back to the left, push down, you can adjust, or it's just showing basically the TX volume. You can adjust that as well as the battery voltage. I believe you can calibrate that. You press down on it, you're going to get into the main menu. You have a beginner option here. You can toggle over. You can reverse inputs. So if your steering is reversed, you can set that to normal or reverse the channel. You can back out of that. You got your endpoints. You can set all your endpoints easy here. It's really nice. Most ground radios don't have that option. Something like a ready to run radio. This will also be coming to the channel. As you see, Vanquish products. They've got a new ready to run out. Look forward to that. You can't set endpoints on that radio, but it's not as easy. Back out of that, you got your sub trims, dual rates. You can set an expo curve, just like you can on a traditional radio. You can go beginner mode. This is just your channels, your mixer. So if you have 4-wheel steering, you can mix that. I believe with, even if you're using 2 ESCs, I think you can mix that as well. You got your timer, your lap timer, if you're into that. This, you could actually assign a function to each switch, so each channel, 2-position, your potentiometer, 5-way, so on and so forth. It's going to be nice if you're running something like LEDs or a winch on a crawler, 4-wheel steering potentially on your potentiometer up here. Make it easy to set up. You can set a fail-safe. Once you bind your receiver, test the range test. I believe that's, I guess, discovering sensors. It does have a 20 model memory. So if you want to bind multiple models, I mean, that's going to be my plan. I'm probably going to use this remote exclusively. You can name, copy your model numbers. All right, and then it's just going to give you like the system information here. I believe it's just Chinese and English. You can set an idle alarm, so if you just leave the remote on, it's going to let you know, beep after like 3 minutes. You can select your battery type, how long you want the LCD on, how long you want the backlight on, or the LED on. Set your sounds, volume level. Pretty self-explanatory. Calibrate all those, I've already done that. So I can get out of that. Firmware update, I believe there is. Flysky does have their own firmware update utility for your computer. You can update the firmware with a factory reset. And this is just telling you the model number of the FS G7P and the firmware version. Pretty self-explanatory. You select by clicking it. You can go right. You want to go out of a menu, you just go back to the left, and then you got your main options here, like your channel monitor. But it's got a very nice display. It's easily readable. Looks to be well built, solid. We can get a weight. All right, so the receiver is coming in at 8.2 grams. For the remote itself, it's coming in at 400, almost 407 grams. It's with the batteries. Comparison, this Vanquish Ready to Run radio. It's coming in at 305 grams. All right, so it's a quick look, guys. The Flysky FS G7P, we'll just call it the G7P. This is the replacement for the GT5 that I believe a lot of you have been using, or a lot of people have been using. It's a good radio. This has got some nice upgrades. Tell me what other radios you've been looking at. Make sure to hit that subscription button. Post a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah, I want to know your thoughts. Hopefully this video was informative. Stay tuned. I got lots more content, ground vehicle content. I haven't forgot about FPV. I got some more FPV content coming to the channel. As always, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.